Little Rock saw its 70th homicide this morning, reaching an unfortunate milestone. Thank you for joining us this evening at 5:30. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. The city now matches its highest ever recorded number of homicides in a year, which last happened back in 1993. Here's what we know right now. Shortly after 2 a.m. on Sunday, the Little Rock Police Department responded to a report of a shooting at a home on York Drive. When officers arrived, they found 34-year-old David Royal suffering from a gunshot wound. He later died at the scene. 40-year-old Aviron Carter has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder for the death. Police tell us that the incident stemmed from a domestic disturbance. Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr. issued a statement responding to now record-high homicides, which reads in part, "This is a tragic milestone, and it's one we must all pause to recognize as we further intensify our efforts to reduce violent crime and take illegal guns off the streets." Mayor Scott added that Little Rock police are working with new crime prevention and treatment programs like their real-time crime center to bring justice to the families of victims. Just into the newsroom tonight, state police have arrested a man they believe murdered a Brinkley woman late last week. After 2 a.m. on Thursday, police responded to a break-in at the Sunset Apartments on West Walnut Street. The next day, 73-year-old Shirley Bodkins was found by family members dead in her apartment. That's when state police joined local officers and started a search for their suspect, 29-year-old Juwan Swanigan. He was arrested yesterday and taken to the Monroe County Jail on charges of capital murder, aggravated robbery, and burglary. State police would not confirm if the victim's apartment was the same as the reported break-in, but said there is still a lot of investigative work to be done.
Now, weather from the First Arkansas Bank and Trust Weather Garden.
Well, it's been quite the soggy weekend, although we saw some much needed rain. It's already coming to an end as we continue on and through the rest of your afternoon and evening. Overall, our weekend has been on the chilly side as well. Within the last 24 hours, we have not budged from the 60-degree mark. We've been mainly staying in the low 60s for much of the day. Our warmest point today, we were at around 67 degrees. Here's a look at what we're seeing right now on our radar. Just a few specks of some rain showers in the area. Besides some light drizzle, it's just cloudy and gloomy out there. Our rain chances are going to diminish for the rest of the night. Our cloud cover is going to slowly begin to decrease as we head into the new week. Later tonight, temperatures will begin to be a little bit on the cooler end in the mid to low 50s, but a lot cooler further westward. Temperatures dropping in the mid to upper 40s as the skies begin to clear from west to east. So I'll have a sneak peek of what to expect for your week ahead coming up.
Well, that gloomy weather didn't keep buyers away from open houses today, as realtors continue to emphasize keeping those home tours safe, especially as just over 8 years ago, a Central Arkansas realtor was kidnapped and killed. THV 11's Julissa Garza joins us now with one realtor's concerns. Julissa?
Well, Sarah, safety is at the forefront of realtors' minds. I met with one realtor before her open house today, and she shared with me the steps she's taking to ensure that she is safe.
Yes, in the garage.
Talina Woodley has been a realtor in Little Rock for 3 years now. When showing homes, her first priority is safety.
I have either my husband, family, or friends. They come and they walk through. Having multiple people here at one time makes me feel a little safer.
Woodley says it's a lot of preparation.
I keep my phone in my hand, my keys in my hand. When I walk in, I turn all the lights on, make sure the doors are locked.
That brings her a sense of security.
Make sure that I have multiple ways of getting out if I need to, and I wear comfortable shoes.
A sign-in sheet like this one is also another important detail she makes sure to have. Woodley says it's an extra layer of protection.
We can have more of a count on what's really going on and try to stay in control of who's in and who's not.
Recently, realtors like Woodley have been seeing some clients not want to sign in, which could pose a safety risk.
If they don't, then we can ask them to leave, because if it makes us uncomfortable and they don't want to give any information, then maybe they don't need to be here.
A heightened safety focus after what happened just over 8 years ago in Scott, Arkansas.
She went out to show a property and ended up getting killed.
Real estate agent Beverly Carter was kidnapped and killed while showing a home. This incident has stuck with agents like Woodley.
We need to stay aware of all our surroundings and not go in at the last minute or show people properties alone that we've never met.
That's why Woodley says sign-ins are key for safety.
Hopefully something will happen where it's mandatory for them to give us some information, and maybe they can understand that we're not just trying to get in their business.
And Jalissa joins us now. Now, Jalissa, she mentioned a lot of different tactics she uses at every open house. Does she really prep this way for every single tour?
Absolutely, and I got to see that firsthand today, and she wanted to share that with us so that other real estate agents can be reminded, hey, if you don't do these things, here are some extra things that you can do to help you feel safer when you're showing homes.
And definitely remind all those buyers to sign in for that safety.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us. In a Twitter update, Elon Musk now says he will not reinstate suspended accounts right away. Instead, he says the company will form a special counsel to make those decisions. Twitter already has a council made up of independent experts, but it's not clear if Musk is aware of that. Right now, companies are considering pulling ads from the site, which make up 92% of Twitter's revenue in the second quarter. General Motors was one of the first to pause their advertising while gauging Twitter's new direction. Officials over in South Korea are still investigating the deadly stampede in Seoul that left over 150 people dead, mostly young people and teenagers attending a Halloween celebration. Christian Benavides has the latest.
A day after tragedy struck in Seoul's Itaewon neighborhood, people stopped at this makeshift memorial to pay tribute to the victims of Saturday's deadly stampede during a Halloween celebration. An estimated 100,000 people were there for one of South Korea's biggest outdoor events since the pandemic. Survivors like this Australian national recounted the horror.
There's so many people. What are you gonna do with 10 people? Yeah. And I had to turn around and I told the crowd, you can't come this way. People are dying.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol visited the site, a narrow downhill alley in the city's party district. He declared a national mourning period, telling South Koreans,
어젯밤 헬로윈을 맞은
a tragedy and disaster that should not have happened took place in the heart of Seoul. Now questions are being raised about what crowd control measures could have been put in place in anticipation of Saturday's event.
Itaewon is famous for its crowds, and it's not unusual, but this was next level. Shoulder to shoulder, front to back, just shimmying along on those streets. Oh, no control about where you're going to move at times.
Local officials have said their police and security forces were scattered around the city due to anti-government protests. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
And last night was another night of no winners for Powerball players. Not a single person matched all of the numbers for last night's $825 million jackpot. The one lucky player could be in for a big treat on Halloween night, though. The Powerball jackpot has grown now to $1 billion. It's only the second time in the game's 30-year history that the jackpot has hit that billion-dollar mark. While no one won the jackpot last night, one ticket in Texas matched the 5 white numbers to win $1 million. And in just 5 minutes, we're going to introduce you to a Pine Bluff woman who has a vision and a plan after a neighborhood grocery store announces it's closing its doors. But first, we're going to take a quick peek at the forecast. Corrales?
It's crazy to think we're on our last days of the month of October, ringing in a new month later this week. Coming up, we'll let you know what to expect entering this new month and how your Halloween forecast is looking like coming up.